What's up, people? This is the Violent Casket. I am Nick, your host. This is the home of the lamest taste, and today we're gonna get right into it. We are doing a bada bing, bada boom. We're doing a review on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the Marvel film that just came out this year, September 3rd, I believe. Marvel Studios. Before we get started, if you could please follow and subscribe here on Twitch, on YouTube at The Vinyl Casket. This video will be up there later on, so if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And you can also follow my Instagrams at Vinyl Casket and Vinyl Casket Comics. With that out of the way, we will get... Where is that? That out of the way. We got this, Shang-Chi. This is one of the original posters that was released. But, just because I'm crazy, we're going to do... Get that and that. Boom. Nice big one. Alright. With this being said, let's start off. Okay. This is one of the earlier introductions into Phase 4 of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Widow wasn't really part of Phase 4 as the events of that movie took place before Endgame. So, after Infinity War, before Endgame, whatever. Wasn't really part of Phase 4. All we've gotten from Phase 4 so far are the TV shows. So this is the first real movie where we've gotten that takes place in this time era. I'm not exactly sure where it fits on the timeline, but I loved it. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was engaging. I've been saying since I've seen it and since before I saw it that I think Marvel Studios really knocks it out of the park with their like D-list characters, right? These characters that aren't super popular before they ever make a movie. They don't have any animated real series about them. You know, they're just comic books that have always done pretty well. And then they knock Guardians of the Galaxy, perfect example. Scott Lang, Ant-Man, was never the main Ant-Man in the comics, especially the most popular Ant-Man in the comics. He was wasn't even really an Avenger as much of a member as the Fantastic Four. So Shang-Chi, this is awesome. Like when they announced it, I was like, Shang-Chi, like why are they doing Shang-Chi? Preface, huge Kung Fu movie fan. I love Karate Kid. You know, that whole era, especially now with Cobra Kai, with that revival, I really like this stuff. And I think this was done really well. Fight scenes are awesome. Cinematics are awesome. Camera angles, editing, lighting, all that, like, you know, technical stuff, obviously in all these Marvel MCU stuff, is beyond modern. It's beyond the standard that we've come to expect. It's their own standard. So not gonna really touch much on that. There was nothing that I picked up on that really annoyed me. I thought the writing and dialogue was pretty good. But yeah, the plot. Let's get right into it. The plot. You get a really nice origin story at the beginning, right? That's what you start off with, of who this guy is. You get to find out the original Mandarin. And if you've been watching MCU movies, you know where we had the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, but it was this actor played to portray the Mandarin, who was this legendary guy. But this is the real Mandarin. This is the guy that he was impersonating. And we get to see this origin story about, you know, how he rises to power with these 10 rings and the powers that he had, and these giant fight scenes, and how he meets this woman trying to get into this magical land, and how he falls in love and has a kid, right? And she's telling the kid these stories, and, you know, then all of a sudden this kid is, boom, in the current day, and we get to see him as like I'm assuming he's like 25, maybe later, something like that. Definitely post-college and everything. And it's really interesting because I was like, how are they going to explain when they get to the first fight scene? Like, how are they going to explain that he knows how to fight? Because he's just whipping people across his bus like nuts. It was insane. And I was like, how are they going to explain that he's just magically this guy? is magically this like kung fu master that he's known this woman, his best friend, since he's like 13, 14, 15, and now all of a sudden he knows how to fight. And they did that perfectly well. The mother passes away, the dad goes crazy, takes the rings back on, restarts his whole organization, forces Shang-Chi to learn how to fight and do this and go on missions, and he abandons him, right? The daughter wanted to train, it wasn't allowed because she was a woman. Teaches herself by watching on the sidelines. She eventually leaves and starts her own, crime syndicate kind of thing going on. And I thought the origin story for the Mandarin was cool. I thought the origin story about how these two children learned how to fight and stuff was really cool. I thought the fight scenes in general were cool. Razor Fist, while we don't really get any real background on how he joins the Ten Rings or how he gets to that point, I thought he was played well. I thought the fight scenes with him were really cool. You don't get any character development around him. So that's why the only real villain that you get like any development for is the dad. I think his name's Wen Wu. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought they pulled it off. I didn't really go in with really high expectations because I was like, if it flops, it flops. I'm not gonna care. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. I thought it was bright, and the contrast was crazy, and the fight scenes are cool, and the dialogue and the story and the plot. So after you get past all these origin stories and these fight scenes, you find that the dad was trying to get the pendants that each kid had because they were going to show him this magical map to get to that land that he was originally in search for when he met the mother. And goes through all the trouble of getting it. Really interesting. He's trying to put his family back together because he's being played by this dark creature behind the wall, and he gets there and he's trying to break the wall down while the kids they're not really kids, but his children, meet their aunt and get into this thing. Getting there was cool. The pathway to get there was the coolest scene in the movie, in my opinion. Driving the car through the maze was so sick. Also, like I said, there in Iron Man 3, you had the imposter Mandarin. You get the imposter Mandarin again. He was captured, then he was used as like a jester, and he becomes friends and helps the main protagonists get to their destination. He was even funnier than I thought. He was annoying in Iron Man 3. I thought he was hilarious in this movie. I thought he did a really good job. I really enjoyed the role that he played, and I like that this movie that's so far from everything else that we've gotten in the MCU so far still reached back and connected itself to those plot lines, and I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, they get there, they do all this training, big fight scene, and Shang-Chi gets the rings. And that whole dad-son fight, incredible. Like, really well done, really well choreographed. I thought it was awesome. You get the big dragon, the protector. I was really hoping that they would try to make him like Fin Fang Foom and connect it to that. Make him green and make him Fin Fang Foom. That would be the perfect way to introduce Fin Fang Foom and then try to tie it into like Fantastic Four. But no, but that leaves Fin Fang Foom open to be brought into a later Fantastic Four movie. So yeah, another thing that was really cool was the soundtrack. I thought was epic. Sometimes I feel like soundtracks, especially in these movies, are underwhelming compared to all the action that's going around them, especially like Endgame and Infinity War. Those huge, massive, multi-actor fight scenes. Sometimes the music, takes a back seat and just is there as background noise and doesn't really add to the action. I really thought that this soundtrack added to the action. Yeah, and with that, like I talked about the fight scenes, I talked about the plot and how it leads to Shang-Chi taking over with the rings, and then his sister taking over the Ten Rings, the organization. But then at the end, they just end up back in whatever city they were originally, talking to their friends like they were in the beginning of the movie, and they don't believe them about this, and all of a sudden, oh, that was another cool thing. All right, so early in the movie, and it was teasing like trailers and stuff, but we got to see that Wong was from Doctor Strange was going to be in the movie, right? And he was going to fight this big creature, and everyone thought, oh, who is it? It's got to be that looks like Abomination. But you know, we didn't know who it was. It is 100% that was Abomination. Looks like he's mutated further, which is completely possible based off the lore of Hulk and the gamma radiation stuff. So I thought that was really cool. We got to see Wong fighting Abomination. Then we get to see Wong at the end, who like grabs them and says, "Hey, we gotta go. Like, you're Shang-Chi, right?" And grabs him out of this restaurant. Perfect way to end the movie. I thought that was really cool. And then the end credits. So without the end credits, I'm going to give this movie 100% a 9 out of 10. I thought it was awesome. It was a great, just like Guardians of the Galaxy and even Ant-Man. It's one of those movies that are so detached from the main storyline of these movies, but there's so anyone can, without any knowledge of these characters, could jump in and watch the movie, learn a lot about the character, a lot about the personal development, and enjoy the movie because it's fun, it's funny, and it's entertaining. This is the pinnacle of that. The fight scenes are better than anything I've seen in the MCU thus far. Being that it's, you know, linked to Kung Fu and stuff, I would assume that that should be the case. And I liked it. I really did like it. I thought it was a great movie. My fiance loved it. We both went in, you know, not expecting anything from it, and we both walked out so excited. And then the end credits. There's 2 end credits. One, you know, following right after Wong. After Wong grabs them out of the restaurant, and they're talking like projections of Captain Marvel and Bruce Banner. But my problem here with both of them is, how long is this movie taking place after Endgame? Like, how far after Endgame are we? Because Carol Danvers has all her hair back. Like, how long could it have been that she grew her entire head of hair back? She had like a crew cut, and she grew it all back. And Bruce Banner doesn't look like Hulk. He's not Smart Hulk. So for the 5 years after Infinity War, he became Smart Hulk. Everyone knew what he looked like. He was going to diners as Smart Hulk, but now he's sitting there with a sling as Bruce Banner, no Smart Hulk. So I'm just very curious. Hopefully they touch on that in She-Hulk. I'm hoping that that's the reason. I hope we didn't permanently lose Smart Hulk, but if they say they lost Smart Hulk because he, you know, blood transfusion and, you know, whatever, and they had to break his arm in order to pierce Hulk's skin to get the blood, like that would explain the sling. I think that would make perfect sense, and I would be okay with that. Anything else, I'm going to be very upset about. And the hair thing really annoyed me. And then we had a second end credit, which basically shows what Shang-Chi's sister's doing. And she's basically reorganizing the 10 rings and making it into her own kind of like organization. And that's going to be really cool. And what I really want out of all of this, right? What the film's leading to. Obviously, this is building up with stuff with Doctor Strange, being that it involves Wong. So it's probably playing... This movie probably ends after Spider-Man No Way Home, before Multiverse of Madness, the new Doctor Strange movie. I'm going to assume that this movie takes place before that one, but after Spider-Man. And that's what we're all building towards, is that Spider-Man, Wanda, White Vision, and what's his name, and Shang-Chi are all going to be fighting with Doctor Strange. I hope. I don't know what's going to go on with White Vision. We're still waiting to see what happens with that. And we still never saw what happened with, the creation of Leader during Hulk. We never saw what happened with Adam Warlock that was created at the end of Guardians 2. There's a lot of unanswered questions that hopefully this multiverse thing answers. I can't wait to see what happens. And I'm really excited. But what I really want this to lead to, besides all that, is now that we have the 10 rings and Shang-Chi's sister's leading it, I would really love to see some kind of, turf war go on. Maybe even at a Hawkeye, because he was Ronin running around Asia, like slicing people's heads off. I would love to see the Hand. And if you're wondering what the Hand is a League of Assassins, right? That is really closely associated with Elektra. And I would love to see the Hand and Elektra be introduced. Be that a way to bring in, Daredevil into the MCU. I know a lot of people are saying that Matt Murdock is going to be Peter Parker's attorney or whatever. That would be really cool. So if we have Matt Murdock and we have the Hand, that whole conflict, bringing Bullseye, I'm set. We're set. That's what I really hope it leads to, because we already have this big, massive crime syndicate, right? The 10 rings. Obviously, they're going to fight with other crime syndicates that exist. So 10 rings versus the Hand would be a sick fight. To see Shang-Chi face off against Elektra and somehow bring like Iron Fist into it would be really cool. Because all these, especially Shang-Chi's whole like mythology kind of overlaps with the stuff with Iron Fist. It'd be really cool. That's all I really have to say. Definitely 9 out of 10. I would love to watch it again when it comes on Disney Plus. I'm probably gonna watch it like 3 more times. Yeah. I can't wait for the next show to come out, and I can't wait for the next movie to come out. I'm gonna definitely do a review when that comes up. So guys, please remember to drop a follow and subscribe here on Twitch, and subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube once this video is uploaded. Right there are all my ads. I would really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. And remember, this is the home of the lamest place. You are never alone if you're lame. And to stay lame. See you guys next time.